me hear you say my name. Come on, let me hear you say my name. That's not my name. Come on, my name's Morris. Let me hear you say it. Morris.
Alright everyone, welcome back to Horror Night. I'm Zero, and what you heard there in the beginning of the video was an interview with a girl, aged 11, Janet Hodgson. And I know that didn't sound like a girl. It was an interview taken by Maurice Grosse, interviewing the girl about the alleged hauntings. Now we're going to talk about the Enfield poltergeist, or alleged poltergeist, tonight. Brought up some facts here, some speculations, what we can speculate on whether we think it's real or not. There's still no way to prove it one way or the other, but there's been a lot of stuff done on this topic on YouTube and even in film, of course, being one of the Conjuring movies, Conjuring 2, being based off of this real life haunting. So let's go back and tell you about the beginning there. Green Street, England. This takes place, Green Street, Enfield, London, England, from 1977 to 1979. It was Peggy Hodgson and her 4 children, including Margaret and Janet. Now, Margaret and Janet are the ones who experienced most of the haunting, and I'll talk more about them later and why they're even more linked to it than anyone else. But the first instance was actually phoned in by Peggy Hodgson herself, calling the police in 1977. She noticed some furniture moving. I think furniture flying across the floor, moving across the floor. I think it was a dresser or something, or a table. And she, obviously, she thinks, how could that have happened? So she calls the police. They come over. They don't really see anything, nothing going on. But she had reached out to, I think, Maurice Grosse and Guy Leon. Let me see, some of the Society for Physical Research, who came over and even took a look at the property, because there were also other people that came over. They were said to have experienced disembodied voices, loud noises, more furniture moving, thrown toys, overturned chairs. Even there's some cases of children levitating. There is that famous photo of Janet. I think it's Janet, up in the air floating above the bed. I'll probably put the picture up here for you guys to see. Was she just jumping? Were there wires involved? Was she actually floating? Nobody really knows for sure, but that's what was caught. People think that she was actually levitated by the spirit. There's something believed to be a demon that possessed her, and that was taking over, the house and telling people, telling them to get out. Even Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated this, and they too thought that this was real. They thought there was something supernatural going on. You can see the quote from Ed Warren in the beginning of the video as well. He believed that there was something real going on here, and obviously they are very famous paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. If you don't know who they are, then I suppose Googling them and finding out, because there's a lot to talk about with them. They have their own museum, and they've investigated a lot of stuff over the years. So some of the people, I believe Maurice Grosse as well, thought that there was some real paranormal stuff going on, but most of the people that were involved in the case thought that everything was just faked. It was covered by the Daily Mirror until 1979, until the haunting stopped. It was actually covered by that news reporter. So So the hoax elements would be some of the stuff was actually caught on camera, like the voices that Janet or Margaret would make, some of the movings of some of the objects was actually caught, them faking it on camera. Ventriloquism as well, using her false vocal cords, which is kind of interesting for a kid to be able to do, but I guess she was able to do it. Now, was that how the interview was conducted? I don't know. How was she able to get her voice that deep? I mean, for a child to be able to do that with their voice, I just don't believe that. I mean, I think something else was going on there. Neighbors, investigators, there was like over, I guess, 30 people that had claims of stuff going on in that house. So it was full of just a lot of like strange happenings and stuff. And later on, as we go back to Margaret and Janet being the ones who may have faked a lot of it, they were asked how much of it was actually faked, and they said themselves less than 2%. So that's confirming that some of it was definitely faked, but they're claiming that less than 2% of what happened was fake. Now, was the spirit manipulating them? Maybe the demon was manipulating them into acting like that they were faking it, even though they really weren't. Or who knows? Who knows what was going on and what spirits can do? I believe spirits exist and all that. So, if you guys think that this was a demon, let me know. What do you think that this was? This is the information I pulled out that I thought was worth talking about. I'm sure there's other things in there, but this is the gist of kind of what happened until the hauntings kind of just died out after 1979. Since if it was faked, for 2 years to keep this up, for kids to keep this up, it has to have been pretty elaborate to fake all this for over 30 people who claim stuff at the house there. I mean, the movie, like I said, just based on, you can't really watch the movie and say, oh, that's what happened, but that's just kind of like a retelling of the story. I've seen the movie; it's a good movie, but it's not really exactly what happened. I think it was obviously more dramatized and exaggerated for the film's sake, but and I don't think Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated it that thoroughly as they did in the movie. But they, like I said, they believe that something paranormal was going on there. The picture of the levitation, is it real? Does the interview? There's some proof here. There's some weird things were happening, but I think perhaps there could have been a spirit that manipulated the children, or yes, it was all faked. But why would it have all been faked? Why would the mother and her kids do this? I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I can understand kids maybe doing it, but why would the mother? If she knew something false was happening, why wouldn't she come out and say that? She honestly believed that something was wrong, and that's why she, had reached out to all these people, and all these people were involved. So, it's a very strange, creepy case. I myself believe there was something strange going on. As to what it was, I really couldn't tell you. I'm no paranormal investigator myself, but I would like to, believe that something was going on in terms of maybe even psychological with the children, as opposed to maybe it not being a supernatural thing. But it could have been manipulated by the demons if they were possessing the children, especially Janet. So it's another wonderful night of Horror Night, guys. Here, I thank you everybody who supports this series. I love talking about this stuff. I really want to know what you guys think about each topic that we discuss on Horror Night, and some of the videos and pictures I might share with you guys. These are a lot of fun doing this. There's not really much more I can say about this topic. I'd have to read a book on it probably to really understand fully of what happened and why maybe they might have faked it. But for it to be throwing toys and loud noises and disembodied voices, yeah, ventriloquism could be a thing, but that's not an easy thing to do. For a kid to do that. I'm not so sure, guys. I'm not so sure. To get her voice that deep, too. You hear in that interview how deep her voice is. I can't even get my voice that deep. Not many guys can actually get their voice that deep, let alone women. So it's a lot to speculate about, a lot to figure in there. Obviously some of it was captured them faking it. So I guess that might have disproved anything else that might have been real. People might have said, all right, that's it. They might have seen that footage and be like, that's it, it's all fake. You know, everything else that might have been real, they probably wouldn't have believed, because they've already seen them faking some of it. That could have discredited a lot of things that may have happened that was real. So there's also that to consider. But that is the Enfield poltergeist, guys. There's plenty of articles and videos and stuff on that on the internet. If you want to know more about it, go ahead and look it up. A lot of interesting stuff there. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next horror night, guys. Stay creepy. Till next time. Zero is